Thank you for turning in to Would You Gaming again today. Today we're going to discuss next gen consoles when looking specifically at the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. They're very comparable when we look at the specs to each console there. So we're all just looking at our favorite brand's box basically. Because there's not much in difference in the way of the specs, the output, the graphical fidelity. I think that PlayStation's obviously winning when it comes to software and sales at this point because they have much more of a library of first party games, but that's not even much to speak of there. When we look at them, they both have an amazing graphical fidelity, and load times are pretty much non existent with the solid state drives that they have for us. I think the graphical department, the Xbox slightly has PlayStation. It's not far behind, though. The visuals there are spectacular. We can all agree on that. Everybody wants the next gen box. And if you're anything like us, you're probably waiting on the issues to be ironed out, because at this time we both know there's some issues on both sides of the fence. There could be crashes. I've heard of hard drives needing to be completely rebuilt, and that's just where it wipes all the data. That's got to be enough to tick you off there alone. The launch library for the PS5 might be one factor, but if you're looking at exclusives, there's one I can think of, maybe two. We have the free PSN game if you have PS Plus, which you're going to have if you're playing online this day and age. It's just inevitable. We got to pay that tax. But the main exclusive we have is Demon Souls, and that is it. Miles Morales is on the PS5, and they redid Spider-Man, or you can play Spider-Man now on the PS5. But even Miles Morales, heck, you can pick that up on PS4 for $50 instead of 60 or 70. I'm sorry, 70. Yeah, 70. So, no, it doesn't even make sense there. The Xbox, on the other hand, launched with no console exclusives. They have Game Pass. And that goes back all the way to the original Xbox, which can be quite nice on certain titles. If you missed out on those, or you just have nostalgia for playing those, you can go back and enjoy that. I'm in the Sony camp personally. That's just because I've been on that side since the PS3. I owned an Xbox 360 because I was able to get one at a deal where I worked, and I think that was about it. I did not own an Xbox One X. I did not buy one of those, or the Project Scarlet, any of that. I wanted to at one time, but I held off because they were on sale, but it was still $300. I don't know when the PS5, when it does become available and I can get it without paying an arm and a leg for it, I'm going to get one of those. But when we look over at the Xbox, they bought Bethesda, and that really makes me question whether I'm going to wait a whole year for the next Skyrim and Fallout to come out between consoles, or if I'm just going to pony up that money and jump over to the Xbox side as well. Not to say I'm not going to get a PlayStation 5 first and foremost, but I may very well jump over to the Xbox if I can get one at a reasonable price. Just because, though, if those are console exclusives, definitely they have me. I don't see Xbox sticking with them being console exclusives, but you never know. Sony has done this with Spider-Man. They kept Spider-Man on, what was it? The Avengers game that came out. The Avengers game that came out, Spider-Man was held hostage on the PlayStation. There were a lot of people very upset about that. But Microsoft, they have plenty of money, so this may not be what they're planning. We've even got Ori and Will of the Wisps and the Blind Forest that came to the Switch. Cuphead came to PS4 and the Switch. And that's one of their own studios there. If we look at Sony's camp, they haven't ported anything over specifically to the Switch or to the Xbox, but they have sent some things from their ecosystem have shown up on the PC. I look at Yakuza, they're owned by Sony or Sega, but Sega and Atlas, a lot of times all their stuff would just come out on the PlayStation environment. PS4 Golden being an example, that's Persona 4 Golden, being an example, that stayed on the PSP for the longest time. I think that was a PS2 or PS3 title there, but who's to say? And it seems as time goes on, console exclusives are going to other consoles, though yet to see a first-party title of Sony appear on an Xbox console or a Nintendo that I can think of. Who's to say this isn't the console that breaks that trend? At the end of the day, we're all buying our favorite brands boxes, as I said earlier. and Xbox is leaning heavily into Game Pass, so it'd be cool to see if that eventually shows up on PlayStation minus the console exclusives or something like that. Some caveat like that, I might take advantage, just depending on what they have. I've not looked over Game Pass. I've never owned an Xbox, and it's never really been appealing to me. But we wait for these next gen console releases. Many of these titles releasing on the next current gen are releasing on last gen as well. And it makes it a little easier on our wallets to do that. And especially when scalpers are killing us and nobody can get one. I mean, I was at Walmart the other day. I saw about 20 people lined up, and I saw 2 or 3 boxes of PS5. So there was like 9 or 10. I was like, yeah, there's no way. There's just no way on this. And at this point, all we can do is wait for the hype to die down and retailers get more in stock. But it's not bad to pay $10 less for our favorite games at this time. Again, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the support you show. Let us know how we're doing. Give us a rating. Thanks, and you guys enjoy.